Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Reach out to me for purchase and pricing information about this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Email me for pricing. I am tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today we are discussing a watch sold in 2021 and part of a 50-piece limited edition in white gold. This is the Chopard L.U.C Chopard XP Skeletec. It is an ultra-thin automatic dress watch and the cure for the common Calatrava. So 40 millimeters in diameter, it's 7.5 millimeters thick as I measure it from lug tip to lug tip across the wrist, 47.8 millimeters with a very traditional 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. For the watch on the wrist, my wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference. You can see truly extra plat, as per its name, super thin. And down the barrel, you really get a sense that the lugs are nowhere near the edge of my wrist, and that is the case. The over-the-top shot exaggerates the size of the watch, but even then, I'm pulling it a little bit tight. This watch fits beautifully on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference, in my estimation. The watch also includes a lovely ABP strap. ABP, one of the finest strap makers in the world. You could see an unusual use of small rectangular scale alligator leather, a cut we don't often see, in gloss orange, a monotone stitch, orange to match the strap. You could see the layers of leather with a sheer cut profile. On the bottom, you can see no crimping, no gouging. The ABP maker's mark, pull tab spring bars, so you can pop the spring bar out of the lugs without a tool. We have a matching white gold polished and satinated buckle. And you can see that the facing of the buckle, it's actually vertically satinated just like the case itself. Now you may be noting that this is a very white gold case. It looks more like platinum. And it does appear that Chopard, along with Piaget and Audemars Piguet, one of the few companies to continue using an ultra white metal plating such as rhodium on top of its white gold to make it look like platinum. It's just an aesthetic choice some brands make. They want white to look blindingly white, and real white gold can be either plated or it can be gray gold, which is warmer. And whether you decide to plate it or not is going to determine whether it's super bright white or merely a very, very mellow yellow, which is what unplated white gold looks like. Now it's polished on the lug hoods as well as the bezel, which is extraordinarily flat, and you can see it's got a small flange, so it stepped in from the case band to visually thin the watch. Unusual use of vertical satination along the case band. This is usually where we see longitudinal finish, and you could see that we have a L.U.C Chopard logo on the crown. And the watch has a dial that is almost one and the same as the movement. Now we've got these lovely faceted deltoid hour markers outboard. We've got a lovely brushed ruthenium-coated minute and hour track, and you can see outboard the numerals are radially arrayed. We have orange lacquered hands, these Delta-style hands or Fusion-style hands at center. And then we have a dial that is, again, one and the same as the movement. And we are looking at the caliber 9617 Skelet or 9617S. It's an automatic winder. You can actually see the micro rotor as well as the escapement, the balance, and the barrel from the dial side. It's twin stacked barrels, so 65 hours of automatic winding power reserve. It's nicely decorated. You can see Geneva waves across the skeletonized surfaces. The motion works, or the clutch mechanism that engages winding and setting. You can see it's been nicely decorated with satination. And if you look carefully, you can even see there's beveling on the sides of the steel parts. We have solarization on the barrel, which is quite attractive. And then we have all screw heads black polished. You can see the motion works with the minute wheel and the minute wheel pinion on top of it, turning the hour wheel, and the minute hand sits on the cannon pinion. Turn it all over, you can see the rest of the movement, and it has been entirely ruthenium coated front and back. We have the two stacked barrels for the 65-hour power reserve. We have a 22 karat gold micro rotor for maximum winding efficiency. You can see there's a lovely solarization on the mounting bracket for the rotor itself, and it beats away with a visible and charismatic heartbeat. There is a hacking or stop seconds function. which is a little bit unusual given that the watch doesn't actually have a running seconds hand, but it has hacking seconds, which is always nice to have. You can stop the watch if you wish. The finishing here is more industrial and technical than it is artisanal, as you can see that all of the bridges have sort of a media blasted finish, and then their edges feature a matted bevel. It's not a mirrored bevel. We still have those lovely polished screws, but the finishing of this is designed to be sort of techno-cool rather than traditional, and you can see that it really does achieve a lovely architectural composition in terms of the shape, size, and relative positioning of the parts. My favorite feature, of course, being the micro rotor, which makes this automatic as thin as a manual. And then you can see through the skeletonized bridges the train from the barrel, great wheel, third wheel, fourth wheel, escape wheel, the escapement, and the balance. It's a case study in how watches work. All of this is 30 meters water resistant. It is a dress watch, albeit a very sporty one. And we have the ghosted Chopard logo on the underside of the sapphire. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.